Hey guys, welcome to Friday Fudge Ups, the weekly video series where we go over things that, as nail techs, we commonly mess up occasionally, but how to avoid those things and also how to fix them. This week I want to talk about fine lines and more specifically fudging them up. So I'm working on my wheel of artistic dipping system powders. I haven't swatched these, they're finished swatches. I didn't want to paint a new one for this video is what I'm trying to say, so I'm working on a finished nail, but this works exactly the same if you still have inhibition layer. That's not an issue. So let's say that I am painting a line and I want it nice and fine, but the client moves, or I move, or I struggle a bit, or whatever happens, the line doesn't quite go to plan. I've been using my Be Creative orange brush and some Be Creative acrylic paint, but this would work exactly the same if I was working with gel polish. In fact, let's have a go with some gel polish as well on this one here. So I've done a gel polish line, but it just hasn't gone to plan. Now let me quickly clean my brush. I don't want to leave product sitting on my orange brush. I'm going to do that with a lint-free wipe and a little bit of Monomer, not a cleanser or a remover. So I'm just going to take that product off my orange brush. Now I'm going to swap to my Be Creative purple brush. So this one is a much different shape to the orange. The orange brush is a detail brush for fine line work. The purple brush is a design brush that I use for, honestly, pretty much everything. Dry wiping, I use it for pigment application, I use it for my glitter, and I only have the one too. I literally use it for everything. Now what I'm going to do is take a nail wipe and I'm going to drop a little bit of Monomer on that wipe. You could use a dip dish, but honestly, if you have too much Monomer, you're going to make a mess of your artwork, so it is better to just have it on a wipe. I'm going to dampen my purple brush with Monomer and then run down the side of the line that I want to fix. Now, the first stroke is sort of about melting the product. It's not necessarily going to be the cleanest stroke. Wipe it off on your wipe. The second stroke is the one that makes that line beautiful. And I can do this on the other side. You can't turn a client around, but you can get them to change and fold back so that you can work backwards on a client. So it's okay if you do this. It's not cheating. And I can run back down this way, remembering that the first stroke is to melt the product, and the second stroke is usually where the magic happens. So I can clean up my water-based acrylic paint this way, but I can also do the same thing with my gel polish. So still just a damp purple brush, and I can run down the side of my gel polish line and completely change it and stretch it out, thin it out, whatever I need to do to fix what happened. Now, the reason that I'm using Monomer instead of cleanser, isopropyl alcohol, remover, acetone, is because Monomer doesn't evaporate in the same way. Isopropyl alcohol and acetone, which are the bases for most cleansers and removers, are designed to evaporate very, very quickly. Now, the brushes that I'm using are beautiful, high-quality brushes made from Kolinsky Sable. And Kolinsky Sable is the tail hair of a Siberian weasel. It is a natural fiber, and it is full of naturally occurring oils and moistures that should be there for the bristles to be in good condition. Now, Kolinsky Sable is chosen because it does survive being used with solvents and things much better than other natural fibers, and natural fibers in general are much better than synthetic. However, it has its limits, and if I were to use isopropyl alcohol or acetone based products on my brush over and over again, my brush would die very quickly. The bristles would become dry, you get them sort of splaying out a little bit, it's not so good. Monomer, on the other hand, works the same way, but doesn't evaporate as quickly, and so you've got time to work with it without your brushes disintegrating or becoming brittle and splaying out. So a couple of little tricks without going into too much of a heavy fine line lesson, but a couple of little tricks on how to ensure that you do have a fine line in the first place and you're not having to fix it up constantly. Make sure that your hand is completely anchored. So not only my hand, my whole wrist, arm, everything is flat on the desk. And then I will anchor with this pinky as well. So see how this pinky is on top of the other, like this hand is on the desk, this pinky is on the wheel but on the hand. And when I go to paint, I'm really only moving only those couple of fingers, everything else stays still. So the wheel or the client is still, and then every part of my left hand is still, the pinky on my right hand is still, everything is still except for the fingers that actually move the brush. So that's one tip. And then also to work at an almost perpendicular angle. So not a lot of people are working really flat, like painting really flat. If you work at an almost perpendicular angle, you have more control. So those are a couple of little tips for you to try out, trying to get your fine lines to stay even finer. But at least now you know that if someone sneezes and they move, you've got a backup plan on how to fix it. I'd love links to your hand-painted nail art in the comments down below, and hit me with your requests for the next Friday Fudge Up so I can help you out there as well. I will see you guys next week.